Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast and a game between Yo-IM's Has versus Azubu's San here on Cloud Kingdom. This is going to be a Protoss versus Protoss mirror match, as this is still Season 2 of the TESL round robin play. And so far, this is the first time I believe we are watching San from Azubu play. Over here in the top right-hand side of the map, as the red Protoss, it is San. Meanwhile, over here on the bottom left, we do have Has. I don't know if it's actually San or San, depending on what accent you want to use, but just know that it is red versus blue. Now, the Korean players from Azubu were invited to play in the TESL. 16 players, 14 of them the top Taiwan players. Meanwhile, 2 invites, and San will be joined by his teammate Top as we now go into this mirror match. Excuse me. Now, a Protoss versus Protoss mirror match has been relatively safe, as in players generally do not want to try and play a very hard economic game. The reasoning behind this is the power of the 4-gate and the power of the proxy pylon. Anytime you're able to move your home field advantage with one lone building into your opponent's side of or opponent's neck of the woods, it really does change things up. Now, we are seeing a little bit of a deviation coming in between these two builds already. A very heavy gas build coming in from the red Protoss player here. You can take a look. He's currently getting 15-16 workers, and then most likely he will be transferring 2 probes. Or actually, is he going to go for 3? It looks as though he's going for 3 workers on each of these geysers. That is a very heavy gas investment early on in the game. Meanwhile, you can take a look that it is actually going to be the same gas investment, just a different way of getting there. Now, slight deviations already. 18 workers versus 17. Has is a little bit behind. Perhaps it's because he did get that assimilator out slightly faster, as we already see a proxy pylon being set up here. This is not your typical location for a proxy pylon, and is he going to go for some sort of proxy Stargate play? Proxy Stargate is rather effective. Are we perhaps going to see enough gas? There it is. There is that proxy Stargate, as we now see both of the players trying to hunt for something on the map that isn't necessarily there. What is this probe going to be doing? I don't believe he's going to be following this up with anything else. And we'll really have to see whether or not the Taiwan players will be able to compete with the Koreans here. We saw yesterday, actually, I'm not going to mention what we saw yesterday. If you guys have not catched all the games from yesterday's TESL matches, I definitely suggest you check it out. So far, 1 probe down off over here. He is pretty much hiding, hoping that he can spot a probe as it's coming in. Meanwhile, we are going into a Twilight Council from his opponent. Oracle already being trained, as there is a Stalker now coming into play. So this is going to be Blink Stalkers most likely versus Stargate play. Generally, Stargate normally beats robotics facility, but it doesn't beat Twilight Council. I'm trying to remember the rock paper scissors that is the Protoss mirror match, and I believe Twilight Council actually beats the Stargate, as the Oracle now tries to do a quick fly in. Is it going to be able to get in a lot of kills? Already you can see it is going to activate that pulsar beam, taking down 1 probe, 2, 3. Is it going to be able to take down more? It needs to focus down those units there, as it is taking down up to 4 units, going after the sentry. Oh, does not get the sentry. That would have been a huge kill there, as it does get up to 5 kills. Is it going to get the sentry? Now it does not. But let's take a look at the losses. 350 versus 300. The Harvester losses pretty high there, as we now see 18 workers compared to 21. Meanwhile, we do see that this probe is zapping at the center of the field. And what is this? Has is now already transitioning into a Dark Templar. This is one cheese followed by another heavy harassment. And all he really has to do now is just warp in a unit in the midfield. Meanwhile, you can see an hallucinated Phoenix has made its way out, and you can now see additional gateways coming in. Mothership core not going to really suffer any damage here, as we can see that this pylon will get taken down. Meanwhile, you already have a new pylon coming in from Haz as he needs to get these Dark Templars onto the field. Let's take a look. The probes do not know about this pylon here. We still have about another 40 seconds or so before Dark Templars will be making their way out, and now the units are still just wandering back. However, Protoss following this up already, going Twilight Council now into a robotics facility, and this is potentially huge. Observers could be coming in just a moment. Meanwhile, the pylon now being rewarped in. This stalker on patrol, hoping to catch a unit sometime, somewhere, as we could be getting Dark Templars. Is the Dark Templars warping in? I'm not quite sure why they are not. There we go. 3 Dark Templars now warping in. And how much damage can these guys do? All right, 1 probe already suffering a little bit of damage. Oh, there is a pylon, and there's the force field. Beautifully done, as we now see an observer being chrono boosted away. Oh, a beautiful move by Haz to morph in an Archon right there. Why is it not doing... Oh, what is it doing? It morphed in the Archon, saw the robotics facility, and backed away. That was a brilliant move to try and break down that force field. Nicely done, but I don't believe it's going to work any longer. The gig is up as we now see 26 to 24. The proxy Stargate is once again in play. This proxy pylon is still there as we still have a lot of stalkers on the field. This proxy pylon on the low ground, not quite sure the reasoning why you would actually warp it in there. Warping down here would be much better since you cannot warp up onto the high ground. Now, Mothership Core gonna take down that scouting probe as there is a proxy pylon coming in from San. All right, let's take a look at the armies. Army supply 18 to 26, much higher for the red Protoss player. Tech, let's take a look at the tech though. The tech does have a very wide gambit. You can see oracles blink on both sides. This Archon is both gonna be very effective against zealots, while being able to absorb a lot of damage from those stalkers. Since stalkers do not deal bonus damage to psionic, that is a definite sign there. All right, what's coming in? Let's take a look at it. Double Zealot now warping in on the far side. There is still 1 pylon warping in there. We can make sure that the Twilight Council will get up as a new Oracle has made its way in. However, Photon Overcharge gonna make short work of that poor Oracle there as it is now backing off. Supply discrepancy is starting to grow, 63 to 45. This is not looking good. Yo-IM Haz is now playing on the defensive end. Much of his tech is out in the middle of the field. And the Protoss is just thinking to himself, you know what? I have the stronger economy. I believe I've been able to invest more. I'm just going to walk up inside your base and see what I can destroy. And there you go. Round of Zealot Fire now coming in. What's going to be happening here? There's that Photon Overcharge coming back the other way. And there is a lot of damage. The Stalkers, however, unable to engage so far, as the Stalkers just trying to make their way in here. What's going to be happening? Dark Templars now coming in from the Protoss, as we see the Stalkers are now looking to back off. This Mothership Core is going to have plenty of time. Meanwhile, what is going on? Another Photon Overcharge coming in. And what is it engaging? What is it attacking? I can't really tell, but it looked like some more workers were killed somewhere. All right, 72 versus 54. Was there a probe in there? I'm not 100% sure what's going on. All right, I'm just confused. Anyways, coming back around, all these pylons, the Twilight Council, the Dark Shrine will get taken down here. And this is all very important and valuable tech. He cannot afford to lose all of this. Whatever tech advantage that he thought he had has been neutralized. Just to hide it, that is the gambit in trying to build in midfield. All right, if there is an engagement anywhere here, the Stalkers are going to be blinking and engaging as the battle is now raging on. Guardian Shield now coming in as a Dark Templar now trying to sneak its way in. Stalkers are blinking forward, and it is getting units on the run. There goes the Sentry as a new round of Stalkers now coming in. 35 versus 51, but home field advantage does belong to the Protoss right now, as we are going to perhaps be seeing an Immortal join in on the fight. The Immortal sitting right there in the center, looking very strong. Going to be very difficult to blink up straight up on top of that Immortal. And if that Immortal can fight consistently, that should be enough, as we now see the Archon making its way in as well. Archon absorbing a lot of damage, but it is taking a lot of focus fire from those Stalkers, peeling of those Stalkers from the back. And I believe there's simply just too many Stalkers coming in from the red Protoss. as he does pick down more units still. Stalker still blinking forward. For some reason, it doesn't look like Haz is blinking forward with his Stalkers, and that is perhaps the problem there, finally getting that blink off. Will he be able to get back inside his base? More Stalkers are now blinking in again. We are going to see a little bit of an engagement here, trying to peel back those lower hit point Stalkers, but there's the blink forward. And with a superior Stalker number, there is the GG. San taking this game in a very impressive fashion after fending off 2 early pressure plays by Yo.I.M Haz. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed Game 1. Please stay tuned for Game 2.